Hi everyone, trust you guys are doing well. And in this lesson, we'll be learning about conditionals in JavaScript. Now, in any programming language, the code needs to make a decision or carry out an action or function accordingly depending on different inputs in your code. Now, in this lesson, we will explore some conditional statements in JavaScript and how they work. All right, so the first thing that we did is in our JavaScript folder, we created a new file called 05 conditionals, and then we linked that file in our index.html. So we open it up. So we got our conditionals right there, and if we console.log working, just to make sure it's working, as you can see, it's working right there. All right, so what is our first conditional statement that we're going to work with? Now, the first one is the most commonly used statement that you're going to get that use in programming in general, and it's called the if-else statement. All right, so this is the most commonly used one. You will use it in PHP, Python, whatever programming language you're going to get your hands on and get used to, whatever you're going to specialize in. All right, so what is the basic syntax of an if-else statement? So if, I'm just going to put in it, it's going to give us an error, but don't mind the error. Basically, you're going to have your if statement with a parentheses and then your condition inside it, and then you're going to have your opening and closing curly brackets, and then you have your else right here also with an opening curly brackets. So basically, if this condition is either true or false, depends on how you set the condition, this code will run. Let's say this code will run. Fingers. Right, and then the next one is then if that is condition not true or false, this code will run. Okay, so that's the basic syntax. So if this condition is met, this code will run. If it's not met, then this will run. Okay, so let's create an example of this code. Okay, so let's create a variable. Constant. Raining. It's raining. Okay. Spelling raining. Okay. Raining equal that to true. So basically we assign it a Boolean value of true or false. Okay. So basically if, okay, so what is the condition? If raining is equal to true, okay, let's do it like this. I'm so used to PHP. So because in PHP, what we do is we do the curly braces like this at the bottom of our class. But I must remember with this, we just open it and close like that. So basically, we have, and then we just gonna console.log, please, sharp, please, where rain. Okay, else console.log, hey, it's sunny, just as an example. So in order to do that, we're going to escape that character, sunny. Okay, so if we turn this value to false, if I can spell, okay, if we can turn it to false, you will see that it's it's sunny. All right, we don't technically, all right, if we just use let's comment this one out quickly. Copy just this code. Okay. So basically, this code right here, right. So if this code, so this code will always run. Let's just look at it like this. Console.log. This code will always run. Okay. As you can see, that code will run because this code is met on a condition only. So this code will not run unless the value is met. So if we say this, as you can see, please wear a raincoat and this code will run. So if you don't want an else statement in there, you can just have your code at the bottom right there. Okay, so just remember that you don't have to use if else statement. So let's say you have lots of lines of code that you actually want to run if this is not true, or if you want actually both to run. If it's true, you don't have to use the else statement. Okay, so for us, for now, we're just going to not confuse anybody. We're just going to work with the if else for now. So if that is false, hey, it's sunny. If it's true, please wear the raincoat. So basically, that's how the basic if else statement works. So if the condition is true, it will just run this code. If not, it will run the next code. Okay. Let's use a better example. Okay. So for us, let's do this. Let's say we are building an app, a burger app, so someone can order burgers. And one of the options that we will have as assigned to our burgers is either chips only, or potato, veggies, or salad. Okay, so we want the customers to choose one. Okay, so let's create it quickly. Okay, so basically what I've done is I've just added a select menu with a label, so you guys know how to do this in HTML. So what I've done, let me just make that a little bit bigger right there. Right, so what I've done is I've just created a label called site items, and I have created a select menu with site items, basically with choose an item, this one right here. Let me just choose an item, so where I made chips, potato, veggies, and salad, and give it that value. So just pause the video if you want this to be, you just want to copy this. So basically, we don't worry about the CSS, the styling part of it. We just want to work on the actual workings of the code. All right, and underneath that, we just add just an empty paragraph tag. Okay, so in our conditionals, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some coding, but some of the things we haven't discussed yet, but I just want to show you the code for now. So let's create a variable. We know the const keyword, and we just want to call this select item. Let's equal that to document. We haven't discussed this yet, but just bear with me. Query selector, and we want to select the select. Okay, so we want to select, basically what we're doing now is we're selecting. Right, we're selecting the select keyword right there. Okay, so we basically, that's what the select is for. All right, the next one that we're going to assign to is called the paragraph. All right, and we're also going to do a document. So basically what this does is it actually is selecting an item from your DOM, but we will discuss this in a little bit later. And we want to select the B tag. All right, so what we do now is if we console.log the select item. Okay. Right, so if we do that, as you can see, it is actually, it selected for us the DOM element. I've enlarged it a bit. Let's not do that. So it's basically got the items in there. As you can see, the chips, the potato, the veg, and the salad right there. Okay, so it selected that item. And if we console.log the paragraph, as you can see, it selected the p tag right there. But I don't want to make it bigger. Keep on doing it because we're not going to discuss those things yet. But as you can see, it selected the item right there. Okay, so let's refresh this and just remove that so we know it selected the right items for us. All right, so the select item that we have, we're going to add an event listener to it. So basically what an event listener is, we're going to discuss it in more detail. It's actually an event in JavaScript that listens for either a click event, a change event, a key down, all those kind of events. But in our instance, we're going to listen for the change event. Right, we're going to discuss it in more detail. And on this, it's going to run a function called set item. Let's do it like this, set item. It's going to run this function. Okay, so basically what we have done now is, don't worry about that. All it's saying, the set item function is not defined because we haven't defined that function yet. So basically what we've done now is the select item that we had there, the select, we're just going to say we're going to add an event listener to it, and we're going to listen for the change event. So once this event is firing off, it will run this function. So it's obviously giving us an error because we don't have the set item function. So let's create that function quickly. So we have a set item function. All right. So call that set item function, and we're going to create a variable inside it called choice. Now the choice variable is basically the one that the customer will choose, obviously right there. And we're going to do this select item dot value. Okay. Now basically all this does, you remember the select item that we have right there that we selected, and we're going to choose the value of that select item. So if we do console clg dot choice console.log, now as you can see, let's say we choose veggies. As you can see, it console log the value of veggies, or if we change to chips, it gives us the value of chips. If we do it salad, it returns the salad right there. So that is what we're looking for. Okay, so let's delete that. Right, let's move on. So now we're going to do our if else statement. So if, what condition? If the choice is equal to chips, all right. So if it's equal to chips, okay, then we're going to do that paragraph that we have right there on top. Then we're going to do text content. So basically what we're doing is we putting inside the paragraph text, right inside here, the text content. It's going to go between the paragraph tags. Inside there, we want to add, set it to equal to you have chosen chips. Simple, right? So let's do that and see if it works. Chips. As you can see, it displays the value you have chosen, chips. Very, very cool. All right. So let's go to the next. Now, the problem that we might sit with, because we cannot use just an else now, all right? Because we have multiple items. Because we still go with the veggies, we still have the potato, when we still have the salad. And now, if we do the else statement, we cannot fit all three things in there because they're not really a choice, basically. It's almost like the default value. Now, another thing that we can do in JavaScript, we can use the else if statement. Okay, so instead of, we can actually open brackets also on the else if, and we can actually put a condition. So we can say if the choice is equal to veg, let's just copy this down. Then we can say you have chosen veggies, and with an exclamation mark. So let's see if we choose the veggies. As you can see, you have chosen veggies. And you can have multiple else if statements. So basically, if we copy this down, let me just do this. All right, so if this one is equal to potato, we've chosen potatoes. Oops. All right, so let's choose potato. As you can see, it shows that we have chosen potatoes. So let's copy this again. Right, so if it's equal to salad, and then we can also have the last one and actually else, and where we can say paragraph text. This is going to be like the default value, and what we want the default value to be, just an empty string, meaning nothing in it. All right, so very, very cool and easy methods that we can have in JavaScript. So let's say if like multiple else if statements that you actually want to do, you can have like if there's chips, then pull in this. If not, do the that, else. Okay, else if. So let's just see if everything is working. So if we choose nothing, nothing must happen. If we choose chips, you have chosen chips, potatoes, veggies, and obviously, oops, this one is wrong. We need to replace it with salad. And let's see if it works. Veggies, and let's choose the salad. As you can see, you have chosen the salad. Okay, very, very neat and handy. All right, let's go on to our next one. The next one is called logical operators. Okay, so let's comment this part out. So if you guys want to pause the video right there and just copy it for reference. All right, so like I just said, the logical operators that we have in JavaScript. Let me just start logical operators. The and, or, and not. In OT. Right, so let's see how they look like. All right, the first one that we just said, the and, it's the two ampersand symbols. Now that is equal to and. Okay, the or is two pipe symbols. Okay, it's a bit slanted forward, but don't worry about that. There's actually two pipe symbols. I'm going to show you guys now. And the not is actually just an exclamation not. All right, the and. Now the and allows us to chain together two or more expressions so that all of them have to individually evaluate to true, for a whole expression to evaluate to true. Now that's a mouthful. Now let me show you guys. So if, all right, let's say 4 is equal to 4 and 3 is greater than 2. All right, so basically, let's say console.log, all, let's just say console.log to the browser, let me just say all good. All good. All right, so as you can see, it returns the value for us of all good because 4 is equal to 4. Okay. And 3 is greater than 2. But what if we do this? You can see it doesn't return a value, even though that the 4 is equal to 4 and the 3 is not. So basically, in order for this whole statement to turn true, both of them have to return true, as you can see right there. Okay, so let's change this to a string, because we know 4 is not triple equals to a string 4, because 4 is a number and this is a string, but it will be like this because it's not checking for the data type. Okay, so let's just change this back to 4. Right, so that's the AND operator. Now, the other one that we have is called the, let me just call this the AND operator. All right, so let's copy this down and comment this part out. We have the OR symbol. So this is called the OR operator. So basically, as you can see, it returns the value of the all good because we know that 4 is equal to 4. But what if we turn it to a string? You see, it still returns the value of all good. Why? Because what happens now, it's saying if this one is true or if this one is true, please return this. So if we change this now to 3 is less than, you will see it does not return the true all good value because both these statements are not true. Okay, so basically, all statements allows us to chain together 2 or more expressions so that one of or more of them have to individually return true for the expression to return true. Because here they need to collectively return true, here they don't need to do that. So this expression right here and this expression right here. So if this one is false, it's fine. But if this one is also false, then it will not return true. So this is the AND operator. But all statements have to be true. And in this one, all expressions. And in this one, all or individual, just one of them needs to. So let's say we got another one of, let's say 1 is triple equal to 1. Just want to make it very, very simple. So in this case, press this, as you can see. In this case, we have the 4. That one is false. 3 is not less than 2, so it's still false. And this one is true. That's why it returns it. Okay? But here, it needs to be collectively. I just kind of, I know it's a lot to take in. It's a mouthful, but not to worry. All right. So the next thing is you guys will, as soon as we do more, we will kind of get used to them and operate. And you will kind of, it will stick a little bit better. All right. So let's create the not. Not operator. So what is this? So basically, if we do like this, like if Okay. If for, if for is, you know what, let me use this. And right, I've just copied down the remember the raining one? So let's do like this. Instead of the to true, what we can do is we can say, if it's not raining, then we can console log it is sunny. Okay? So basically, if it's not raining, console log it's sunny. So because at the moment, so that's why the not operator. So if I turn this to false, will mean like it's not raining. As you can see, it returns the value it's is sunny. Okay, so if it's not raining, console log it is sunny. So that's our not operator. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Now, the next topic for us is called switch statements. Now, a switch statement takes a single expression or value as an input and then look through a number of choices until they found one and that matches the value, execute the corresponding code that goes along with it. Now, let's quickly make an example. Okay, a switch statement. So this is also conditionals statements. So the syntax looks like this: switch. Okay. So the expression 4 is equal to 3. Okay. But you know what? Let's do this like a switch statement. Let's just use the expression. Okay. Open and close it. Now inside this switch statement we have the case. Okay. Choice 1. As an example, let's just do it like this. Choice 1. Then we have this. Okay. Run. Basically your code will run here. Okay, so basically I've just typed out the switch statement. So basically, let's say you have your expression. Now, like we have said, like when we do the burger test, so if the customer choose whatever burger, the signs, so let's say they've chosen chips. So basically then it will return then chips or veggies. Then it basically will run that code accordingly. If it doesn't find the code, it basically moves to the next one. Then it breaks out of the function as soon as it selects, basically. Let's say it was choice 1, then it breaks out of that switch statement and ends the code right there because it found the correct choice. Now, I'll use another example. Now, let's say you have a login system. Now, you want to test whether if the user is an admin. Okay, let's just create this there. The first one is called admin. Okay, so this is admin. So this is going to be admin, and the case is moderator. Okay, so if the expression gets to being admin, lock in the user to the admin dashboard. If it's the mod, lock in the user to the moderator dashboard, and it will basically break out of the code. If it's none of the above, and if it's a normal user, it will use the default and actually lock it to the normal user dashboard. Now that is a switch statement. All right. So the next thing that we have is called a ternary operator. Okay. That. The next one that we have is called a ternary operator. Okay, with the ternary operator, the basic syntax looks like this. You've got to have a condition. Let me just do this. Basically, what you have is a condition. Okay, now, that's the condition. If the condition is true, run this code. If it's not true, then run this code. So basically what will happen now is, it's like an if-else state. Pardon me for that. Basically, you have your condition. If that condition is true, then you run this, else run this. So basically, all that is. So let's make an example. Okay. So let's say condition is 4 is triple equals to 3, 2. That's true. Then console log true. Else console.log false. So it returns the value of false. But what if we change it to 4? It returns the value of true because this condition is met. So that means it's right. So if this is true, run this code. If it's not true, run this code. So if we change this to string, which of course we know it will not equal to, you will see it returns the value of false. So that's like a basic ternary operator. If you kind of a shorthand for if-else statements. You're going to use this quite a lot. I like using it in my code because it's kind of nice and neat single line things, and you will use it a lot in your coding career. All right. Thank you guys for watching. That brings us to an end of this episode. All right. And I really appreciate you guys for watching it. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. I'll try and help. And if you like the video, give it a like. If you don't like it, thumbs down, please. And some constructive feedback. Or if you see any errors in my video, please let them know. I'm only human. I make mistakes. I don't know everything. So my knowledge is limited as is. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.